Hello everybody and welcome to the 2.5 Patch Notes Rundown. It's Debo here, and today we'll be taking a look at the official patch notes release. The preliminaries have been kicking around on the internet for a few days now, and let's jump right in. First thing we see are the new story quests. Now this is about half the length of what we saw in the 2.4 release patch notes, but it is to be expected. 2.5 has been chopped up into 3 sections, so we're probably going to get about half the story here and half the story into March, I think was the part 2 release date. Chronicles of New Era quest, just the new unlocks. We have World of Darkness, some new Mughals, Odin. Nothing new from the preliminary notes there. The new Hildebrand quest is going to result in a new trial. More delivery Moogle quests for the people that like to do those. I still haven't gotten around to the 2.4 ones yet, so gotta catch up. A Legend for a Legend quest from the Wandering Minstrel. When you collect all 6 of the elemental mounts, you get a 7th mount, a Kieran mount. Last I checked, I think about 15 to 20 people in the game actually completed all that achievement, so I guess we all need to farm our horses, don't we? And then we got Wonders Palace Hard and Andapur Hard, the other 2 dungeons, with Keeper of the Lake being part of the story mode. Upon completion of just tooling around, players can inquire about master crafting tomes, tools by speaking with Guiding Star. There is another upgrade to Disciple of Hand and Disciple of Land tools. The difficulty of crafting isolator components and auxiliary aerodynamo components during the daily Beast Tribe quest has been reduced. Now, the isolators and the auxiliary aerodynamos were the really high, like 1800 quality with the really low durability ones that you had to complete with like 50% CP and all those. They were actually the only challenging part of the Birdman quests, but it made them a little easier for everyone that's now just catching up. New rewards have been added to the level 45 crafting and gathering guild leaves. These rewards are items to aid in the acquisition of newly added crafting and gathering equipment. So they've apparently added new equipment as well that we will get to at the end. Banding league quests during completing it at least once will refresh the available rewards. What people were doing were turning in 2 of the 3 on the 3-time turn-in crafting quests and just amassing lots and lots of shards. It took about the same amount of time that it would just going out and farming them, but hey, we're running back and forth in town and not doing very much. Treasure hunts. The following items can now be attained from the Boarskin treasure map: vitriol and high quality vitriol, which I do believe were from the goblins only, and you could never get high quality, so it made tawny latex somewhat difficult to HQ. So now with HQ versions being available, now not so much. Moonstones can now be obtained from leather, goatskin, toadskin, boarskin, and pieskin treasure maps. Don't know what moonstones are for. My take, probably either crafting gear or the new relic step. Maybe. I don't know. We'll get there. The amount of rush crash obtained from toadskin treasure maps has been increased. Used to get 1 at a time, so now I assume you're going to get multiple ones because all of the rush crash recipes are more than 1. Drop rates of the following items from Boreskin, Pieskin, and Unhidden Treasure Maps have been increased. Coke, all of the philosophy map. High quality versions of these items can also be obtained. So now we're finally getting high quality versions of phylomats. That's what this has come to, which probably means they're going to be used in something else later. Grand Company's rewards granted in exchange for Grand Company seals have been adjusted as follows. Heat resistant plaster, clear fluorite. This is new crafting items, but they're 600 apiece, with moonstones being 4,000. This must be the new crafting gear that they've been talking about. Requires you to spend seals in order to upgrade. Looks to be about 600 per individual piece and 4,000 for the moonstones that you can get from treasure hunts. So, in there. Oh, and the cost of phylomats has been reduced from 1,500 to 800 apiece. So, about cost cut in half. That should bring the price on the market board down to half. Ethereal wheel use and retainer dispatchment added to the free company authorization. These are the two new abilities granted to the houses, essentially. Ethereal wheels build up stones which you can convert into buffs. It'll be useful for the smaller free companies, like my own personally, but not so much the high ones that have millions of points stocked up and so many active users that you're just never going to run out. The retainer dispatchment actually lets you put retainers out in your front yard and have people buy stuff on that retainer, a la the old Final Fantasy XI. And here's the housing changes. The ethereal wheel has been added. Convert stored energy into company actions. It basically turns buffs from time instead of buffs from points. Wheels accumulate Aether over time, which can be used to acquire company actions. Will be used with company credit. Be used without company credit. In order to change ethereal wheels, free companies must first obtain an ethereal wheel stand, which can be purchased from housing merchants in a residential district. So you set the buff before it charges, not the other way around. Not you charge a stone and then pick your buff. You have to set it. So likely ours is probably going to be set to teleport, because really is one of the best buffs in the game. You place the wheel stand down in your estate, you set the desired wheel, and leave it to accumulate over time. Once it's fully charged, the ethereal wheel may be removed from the stand. Accessing the ethereal wheel stand will give you the option to convert the primed ethereal wheel into company actions. These appear to be grade 1 buffs. After completing the primed ethereal wheel, the corresponding action will become available immediately. So essentially you launch the buff off the wheel instead of putting it in your bank and storing it and then launch it and then activating. Retainers can now be placed outside of estate grounds. The expansion of duties permit is required to place a retainer in your estate grounds outside the hall. These permits can be purchased from the independent settlers at any residential district. 1, 2, or 3 retainers can be placed on small, medium, large estates respectively. Once a retainer is placed on estate grounds, items that currently have listed for sale on the market can be purchased by anyone who speaks with them. The retainer's sale history up to 20 entries can also be viewed by other players. Placing retainers on estate grounds does not impact your ability to summon them via summoning bells, deposit withdrawal items, or to assign to retainer ventures. So, just a way to get people to buy your stuff without having to pay the tax, I assume. Guilds are probably going to have their own guild bank sell things, like in Final Fantasy XI, where you just had your guild bank sit out there, sell stuff, and then use that. For personal housing owners, one of your retainers can just sit out in front of your house. This is the targeting area that appears in the Chocobo stable. Select has been moved the signpost to improve visibility. It used to sit on top and you couldn't actually see it, but you just get the little target notification that you're targeting the stables. So now it's actually going to go on that post that's out in front. Makes more sense. Selecting culinary furnishings will display a dialogue prompt to confirm the parameter bonus is to be received. Keeps people from destroying the temporary food buffs you put in your houses. Alright, I suppose. Attempting to feed Thavnarian onions to a stable chocobo will display a dialogue prompt. In the event, the chocobo will not increase in rank. I thought that was actually put in last batch. Maybe it didn't work. I don't know. I've already thought that was in there. New aesthetician hairstyles have been added. All for all you people like changing your hairstyle. I've had the same hairstyle since Beta 2. The NPC Azena can now be found in Mordona and Revenant's Toll. That might be the new hairstyle changer. I do not know. Additional buildings are being constructed in Revenant's Toll. Those seem kind of odd to be placed there. Unless they have something to do with the statistician. But we'll have to get in the game and see. Servers don't come up for another 5 hours. Battle system changes. Changing class or jobs in sanctuaries will no longer incur penalty to action cooldowns. Thank you, Square Enix. I have no idea how many times I change jobs in Mordona only to go, oh, I need to hit a cooldown on my tank, and the cooldown's not up. Finally, we can change jobs in Mordona. As well as other places, you know, around Aetherytes. If you get rested EXP, you can change freely. New dungeon added, Keeper of the Lake. This is going to be the story mode. Much this in the same vein as Snowcloak. Wanderer's Palace hard and Amdapor Keep hard. They look cool if you've seen the videos. All of these dungeons are item level 90 minimum. And the hard modes require you to have completed Ultimate Weapon and the original dungeon itself. Here's a picture of the new dungeon sets. I'm not really feeling them be on the Bard, to be honest. But whatever. Earth's Font. Players must have completed the main scenario Ultimate Weapon and completed the quest All You Want to Know About Odin. There's going to be a side quest to unlock this. And then you can fight Odin. Now, the Famitsu interview basically said that he's not going to drop any new accessories or anything like that, like extreme modes, but he will drop his armor in individual pieces so that you can glamour it, unlike the giant body piece you get from the Fate. So that's cool. I've been wanting to glamour that armor forever, and you can't, which is unfortunate. Battle of the Big Keep. Essentially Gilgamesh Extreme. I assume. That, or it's the end of the Hildebrand saga. Either way, it's going to be in Trial Roulette, so you're going to have to do it. And then the question mark, which is the story mode trial. Whether it's against a weapon or whatever, we'll have to see. I personally will be rushing the story mode, so expect a video on that soonish. The World of Darkness next raid, the Crystal Tower arc has been added. Now, this is interesting because if you look at the quest for Crystal Tower, if you've completed Circus, you can complete Crystal Tower. Then there's quests afterwards. There's also something in the Famitsu article that essentially says that you have to have completed Circus, Crystal, and World of Darkness in a week, and you get an upgrade component for an item 120 piece of gear, which is nice, which means they're not going to be competing on the gear sets that are already in there, as those are item level 120 pieces of gear as well. So you don't have to run to that thing where do I want to upgrade to a 130 or do I want a 120 piece of gear for an alt job or something like that, to that matter. So that'll be nice. Party role requirements. Parties match via the duty finder can be comprised of 1 tank, 2 healers, 5 DPS. standard tower loadouts at this point. Rewards, you see the sets. Personally, I love that tank set. I love the bard set. About the only set I don't find amazing is the ninja set, and it's only okay. Unlike the dungeon sets, these are actually really cool. You only receive one reward item per week, completing the duties in the World of Darkness. In the event you are awarded an item on the loot list, you relinquish your light, blah blah blah. We already know how this works. Each party in the alliance will receive its own treasure coffer, blah blah. We understand this. Players can now obtain an Allegan Catalyst from Labyrinth of the Ancients and Circus Tower. The treasure coffer that appears upon defeating Phlegethon and Amon. Apparently, yeah, these Allegan Catalysts you turn in for the you turn them in for the carbon coats and carbon twine and all of that. We'll have to take a better look at that. The first time bonuses for the 2.4 content that is now eligible in 2.5. The dungeons will give you 70 first time bonus. Shiva Hard gives you 75. Shiva Extreme gives you 100. And Dragon's Neck gives you 75. Final Coils now give you 100 bonus. So that's cool, but I think everyone who's already pretty much going to do Final Coil has done at least a few turns by now. But it is nice for the people jumping in, and there's a reason for you to help people now. The number of Allegan Tombstones received from Dungeons and Trials has been adjusted, which means upped, likely. Even more soldiery that I honestly don't know what to spend on. The number of Allegan... we read that. Following Duties Trials raids have been added to Duty Finder, Frontline, PvP Roulette. Dungeons, Amdapur Keep Hard, Wonders Palace Hard, Keeper of the Lake, Earth's Fallen, Battle of Big Keep, The Question Mark Trial, World of Darkness, and Borderland Ruins Slaughter, which is Deathmatch. Deathmatch is finally here. Confirmation window displayed after matching the Duty Finder can now be saved or displayed in a notification window, just like party invites, FC invites, LS invites. All that you can hit wait. Don't know why, you only got 45 seconds, but I mean, if you need the window off your screen now, you can get the window off your screen now. And another thing to note is on consoles, the default selection will be the wait, so you don't have to worry about clicking through real quick and withdrawing from your duties anymore. In order to prevent players from unintentionally withdrawing from duties when the match via Duty Finder, a confirmation window will now be displayed when you click withdraw. So now it's 2 clicks to withdraw. Confirmation window will now be displayed when summoning the Chocobo when registered for duties, instead of just summoning it and getting kicked. Now it'll say, are you sure you want to summon it? You'll get kicked. Still cannot fight with them, which is unfortunate. The duties listed in the Duty Finder have been reorganized as follows. The experts are the 3 new ones. The 3 old experts are now in high level. And the Big Keep and question mark are now in Trial Roulette. The preliminary notes, I think, listed Earth's Font in that list, and Earth's Font has since been removed from Trial Roulette. But everyone's going to do it because everyone wants to fight Odin. Item level sync system has been reinstated in PvE encounters pre 2.4. So essentially, the I-110 sync has been added back to the dungeons that were farmed for Zodiac. So no more super duper clears, but I mean, it's still I-110. We can still run through the dungeons at a pretty nice clip. New rewards have been added to treasure coffers in the following dungeons: Sastasha Hard and Hullbreaker Isle. No idea why they would do that. In the following dungeons, treasure coffers that appear upon defeating bosses will now yield both gear and crafting materials in all pre-dungeons. So, finally. Finally, guys. No more No more canard breasts and useless cooking sherry. Well, we'll still probably get a bunch of canard breasts and cooking sherry, but at least now we can get gear. The amount of crafting materials received, excluding cooking ingredients, has been adjusted to the following dungeons, which now less sherry and less cooking ingredients and more actual useful pieces of gear. That's nice. The amount of crafting materials received from treasure coffers in the following dungeons has been adjusted. These are all the crafting gears. So hopefully they made Ishgardian Steel Ingots, Amdapori Stone, Nibian Orb, Mana Varnish, and Stone Vigil Lumbers actually easier to get. They were pretty hard. Seagrout Water was farmed to no end by bots within the first week, so that's not a problem. In the event that all party members are incapacitated during the following trials, players will now receive Echo. Echo comes to Shiva, hard and extreme. Hard getting 50% bonus, extreme getting 25%. I don't know what kind of people wipe to Shiva hard, but I guess some people still do. PvP encountered Borderland Ruins Slaughter has been added to front lines. Players who have yet to unlock frontline can do so by accepting one of the following quests. Upon unlocking frontline, players can speak to one of the following NPCs to gain access to Slaughter. Still the Foreign Levy Flyer. It is a 15-minute dungeon. Item sinks to 80, blah blah, we understand. Participating in Slaughter, players queue each frontline campaign alone or in party of 8. There are no role restrictions. All parties must be affiliated with the same grand company to improve matching efficiency. 72 and 24 combatants may be matched together depending on the number of available participants. When participating in frontline campaign, there is no role requirement for restriction parties. Moreover, players can now freely change jobs or classes at their grand company landing. Same thing as Borderland Ruins. The effect of certain actions, rules of engagement, teleporters to use to get to other locations. The Adrenaline Rush will replace the Limit Break action in Borderland Ruins Slaughter. Unlike the Limit Break, Adrenaline Rush is unaffected by the actions of party members and can be used by single players after filling their gauge. So in Slaughter, it is a single player bar instead of a Limit Break bar. The Adrenaline Rush for tanks is Aegis Boon, reduces damage taken by all party members by 50%. Melee DPS, Raw Destruction, is Raw Destruction. Comet and Meteor, they had to come up with some weird word. Unexpected damage to all enemies near the impact. These are essentially the same as Limit Breaks, only the bar builds by yourself, and you can launch it by yourself. And that means you can have 8 Black Mages launch 8 Cometeors at a party. Combat rank bonus is now affected at the rate which the adrenaline gauge fills. The combat rank bonus you build by getting Battle High and Battle Fever. Battle High, you get a Battle High when you defeat 4 players consecutively without dying. Damage dealt is increased by 20%, and the adrenaline gauge fills 1.5 times faster. Battle Fever, you defeat 8 players in a row before dying. You receive a 40% damage increase, and your adrenaline gauge fills twice as fast. So, we're playing Call of Duty now. Kill streak bonuses. Defeating monsters. Monsters appear in the field. Periodically, slaying them will grant you stat and adrenaline gauge boost. The bonus granted depends on the monster slain. There are haste monsters, which reduce weapon skill and spell recast times, as well as auto attack delay. HP MP boosts, which increase your max HP and MP, and damage increases, which increase damage by 10%. I assume these are temporary buffs, and I assume they're going to be markers on the mobs, or we'll have to just learn which mobs do which. But it's nice. Now we have jungle buffs, and we're playing Call of Duty. It's different. Retaliation. Incapacitated players can be returned to the Grand Company Landing, where they will be allowed to rejoin after a short delay. No weakness penalty, just like Borderland Ruins. Players are free to use mounts, but you will get a heavy effect as soon as you take damage, same as Borderland Runes. All players will receive PvP EXP, wolf marks, as well as Alec and Tombstones of Soldiery and Poetics based on their performance, same as everything else. With the addition of Borderland Ruins Slaughter, Cartno Flats Borderland Ruins has been named Borderland Ruins Secure. Point secure. Makes sense. To reduce the wait time, the duty finder will no longer match players together in groups of 48. When attacking monsters during frontline campaigns, weapon skills with directional requirements will grant combo bonuses from any position. No positional requirements in PvP now, which I guess kind of makes up for the fact the way the server report's wonky and makes it really bad for melee to begin with. 2 passenger mounts can no longer be used during frontline campaigns. All of you people that got married just so you could run around in PvP and dunk people together, you're going to have to ride separate mounts now. Players can no longer block or parry limit break actions. As a tank, that actually makes me a little sad. The hunt has been adjusted as follows. The number of allied seals granted when defeating elite marks has been increased. A ranks give 40, and S ranks give 100. The number of allied seals granted by regular mark bills has been increased from 4 to 8, and from 10 to 20. So they have doubled all allied seals yet again. And elite mark bills now give 100 seals. Elite marks will now drop unstained mark logs instead of blood spattered mark logs. So now unstained mark logs, which cost 500 allied seals, which the blood spatters used to cost 250, but they doubled the cost. So essentially, it's the same rate. It's the same rate to upgrade. I assume unstained mark logs get turned in. And Ventures has been doubled because everything has been doubled, and Venture stacking would have been crazy. Drop rates for the following Extreme Primal Battle rewards have been increased. They increased the drops on all of the horses, so you can go farm your horses and then go get your Kieran mount. The rate at which Soulglaze relic weapons achieve soul attunement has been increased. Now the way this is worded, this makes me think you need less than 2,000 now, as opposed to everything giving more light. You just need less to get to the mountaintop. So we'll have to see what the numbers look like. The drop rate for Alexandrite when completing Fate with a gold rating while equipped with an Animus, Novus, or Nexus weapon has been increased. Doesn't say drastically increased, and it was pretty trash to begin with. So I don't think it's going to be as good as Atma, but I mean, if I get one in a day, it's already better than it was. The character nameplates for Kalia and Hydra have been adjusted. The behavior for Kalia during the Arcanist class quest has been adjusted. Just some little tweaks. A visibility increase for colorblind people during Shiva's Icicle Impact. And quality of life. New items have been added. New recipes have been added. We will get to those later. New recipes have been added to the master recipe books. The following items are available from NPC Alina at Mordona and Revenant's Toll, the Carbon Coat and Carbon Wine, which are the upgrade pieces for the I-120 to I-30. So that's nice. The NPC Talon and Mordona Revenant's Toll has been adjusted as follows. New items have been added, including gear for crafters and gatherers. The category displayed in the dialogue prompt has been adjusted. Following items have been added: the NPC Calamity Salvager, the Sugarloaf and Starlight stuff from the Christmas event, and the Kabutos from the New Year's event have been added. I hope, double-crossed fingers, that this means you can put them in the armoire, but it's probably unlikely. But hey, we can all dream, can't we? The parameters of the following items have been adjusted: Dreadworm Braid, Dreadworm Claw, Dreadworm Spear. The Blade gets 1 more Strength, Claws get 1 more Determination, and the Spear gets 1 more Determination. Everyone's going to be like, oh, that's a great upgrade. The Strength is actually decent because it's a main stat. 1 Determination, probably not going to make a difference. But hey, at least people can feel good that they got 1 more Determination on their stuff, right? Spirit Bond potions are no longer untradeable and can be sold at NPC shops or the market board. Spirit Bond potions! Yay! You don't have to buy them yourself. Following items can now be stacked up to 99. All the Atmas, all the antiques. I don't know if I like the Atma stacking to 99 though, because that usually means there's gotta be a reason. And I don't want that reason to be I need 99 of them. The following item can now be sold or donated to grand companies in expert delivery missions. All the crap from ST. All of the stuff. Most of the stuff that's been clogging up the inventory, all the I-100 and I-90 stuff, essentially, that hasn't been in there can now go in there. Scarf of Wondrous Wit, Friendship Circle, and Bluebird Earring can now be discarded. Following items can now be desynth. All of the stuff that can be traded in can now be desynth. Items received when synthesizing. The following items have been adjusted. Sorry, I can't speak. It's late. All of the I-80 stuff from Crystal Tower can now be desynthesized for, I assume, something good, which is nice. The level cap for desynthesis has been increased. For each class, it's been increased to 110 from 100, and the cumulative bonus from 300 to 350. Desynthesis skill levels will no longer decrease if your combined skill level is not at the maximum. So that's how it should work anyway. I don't. That's how it should work anyway, right? If you're not at the maximum, it doesn't need to reset stuff. I don't know. I've never had a skill decrease when I'm not at the maximum. Residential districts of the 3 city-states have been adjusted as follows. The Independent Settler sells the expansion of duties, which lets you put the people out in your yard to sell stuff. The Ethereal Will Stand gives you buffs. The Dodo's Nest in the Mist. I guess it's an outdoor thing. And the Scattering Documents in Lavender's Bed. A Junkmonger NPC selling fishing tackle has been added as well. So, fishers, rejoice. The icons for certain items have been adjusted. Seasonal miscellany minions category has been added to the item section. So now you don't have to click the catch-all miscellaneous section. You can now just select the minion section when you want to buy minions off the board. New gathering nodes have been added. Because of new tools, you get new nodes. New nodes mean new crafting items, new recipes. It's an endless cycle. Players can now obtain high-quality anti-amble rocks and redulent logs. I'm going to give you one guess why. Players will now be invulnerable to area attacks while gathering if they have not gained aggro from enemies. Fishermen and Mordona rejoice. You no longer have to worry about bad breath. New mounts have been added. New minions have been added. The mount would be Kieran. The minions would be the 3 minions from the 3 new dungeons. Plus probably Greg. That makes me think there's an Enkidu minion in the game. I can run around with a green chicken. Here are the new achievements and titles. Obtain the Kieran Mount, defeat Odin and the Earth's Fount, clear the world of darkness. Blah blah, yep. We've already seen that. The hand and land tools will be called Lucius instead of Supra. And behind enemy lines will be 200 victories combined total, which may be a new mount. Don't know. The most gentlemanly pose. This is why you do the Hildebrand quest. And it's actually, the command for it is actually /Hildy. So that's cool. Complete with, as you can see, the Tooth Twinkle. Tempting to purchase items consumed upon use that you already possess, such as barding and master recipe books, will now give you a message. You don't have to have copies. The online status for new adventures will now appear next to character names, even when participating in instance duties. So you'll still know if someone's new. If people join your instance, and you can now know if they're actual new players. Players can now use mouse wheel or gamepad to scroll through the body of Moogle letters. I don't know why that wasn't a basic release item, but hey, now we can. I've gotten so used to clicking the arrows at this point. Players can now... Retainer ventures have been adjusted as follows. Rank... What is that? 16 exploration ventures have been added. Retainer Fantasia can no longer be obtained from 15, but can still be acquired as a rare item from the Quicks. And the acquisition rate for 15 has been adjusted. Following rare items have been added to the Quick Exploration Ventures. Pastel Dies. Players can now reassign completed ventures via the Venture Report window. Reassign completed ventures? I don't know. Players can now save their retainer appearance after making changes to their appearance. So you can actually save the way your retainer looks and make a character out of it later. Players can now access basic subcommands for Windows scaling positioning by right-clicking the Windows title. You can actually return windows to their original position after you've changed around. You used to have to reset your entire UI to do this, but now you can do it with just one window. The pet hotbar will automatically be assigned to hotbar 1 when interacting with objects or mounts that make use of the pet hotbar. So essentially you would have that extra pet hotbar. Now it'll be put onto the first bar so you can hit your buttons and use its abilities, which I assume means there's going to be more mount abilities later. Melee range class jobs will now be separated when sorting your party member list. Before it was just DPS straight, now it's now it puts the 3 melee DPS and then Bard, as opposed to the 3 original jobs and the Ninja at the end. Up to 3 notifications can now be displayed at once. The 3 highest priority notifications will be displayed. Instead of your, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, and then a whole bunch of boss spams, it'll actually display a tiered list of notifications. Signs will be displayed on the enmity list. This is amazing. That's all I got to say about that. Shared UI elements, company chests, etc. and private ones will now be more easily distinguishable. I assume the private one is this one right here. More easily discern when quick synthesis has been cancelled. The quit button will now be grayed out when selected. As someone who has to spam that button until it finally ends, I like that feature. Less clicking for me. Help text will now appear on screen when viewing initial list of options available character creation. This is for new people. I will probably never see it. The search results for Windows will no longer close after making purchase via the market board. Amazing quality of life again. Have you ever tried to buy, I don't know, say 11 materia to finish a novice and have to click buy and wait 5 seconds so the game won't say you searched too quickly? Click buy and do that 11 times. You can now buy the top 11, just click buy, click buy, click buy, click buy. There's a ton of time. The name of die used on an item will be listed in the item's help window. Lets you determine people's coloring on the items quicker, I guess. I mean, it's kind of obvious sometimes what the color is. Most of the time, actually. The following subcategories have been added under PvP in the Party Finder interface, the new, the actual Borderlands Slaughter and Borderlands Secure distinctions. Been added in there. Error message will be displayed when inputting an invalid name for a friend invitation or blacklist registration. It used to just say nothing and you would assume it didn't find anything. Players can now restore individual UI elements to their default positions via the HUD layout interface. This is exactly what I was talking about. They can individual elements restore to default instead of having to reset the whole thing. The following options have been added to the character configuration menu: log filters, announcements, RNG. You can turn off the /roll command, which I think I'm probably going to have to do, or at least move it to a different window. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be just as many annoying people spamming /roll /random as there are people spamming emotes. And my blacklist is full, so I can't just keep adding people. Following system menu category has been adjusted: before support desk, after support and information. Little distinction makes it easier for new people. Confirmation prop window that appears when for the travel menu has been adjusted as follows. Little changes to the return menu and travel, whatever. I'm still waiting for them to put countdown numbers on the buttons. When appearing in the log window, all items will now contain an item link. So when you get loot, you can actually see the loot that someone got on the log window link. Like blah blah has received. Now you can see it on the link. Item subcommand menus, the search, item link, try on, and item comparison can now be used on item links in the chat log, achievement reward icons, and supply and provision timers. Which is really nice, to be honest. I don't know how many times someone's linked me something and been like, oh, that's cool. What does it look like? Try on subcommand can now be used in the following menus: delivery missions and delivery quests. Don't know why you would want to try on things that you're going to give to an NPC, but hey, you can. Autorun can now be cancelled using a gamepad when entering text in the log window. I do not use a gamepad, so I cannot tell you what this does. Player Alliance can now be displayed in the Players Alliance will now be displayed in the Alliance chat. So now when people are shouting and annoying an alliance, you know which alliance they're in. So if, say, a tank goes, I've popped this or say a warrior uses the their cooldown macro, I've popped this cooldown, please cleanse me in 8 seconds, you'll actually know which alliance he's in to go cleanse his ass. A group icon will now appear in the names of friends organized groups on your friends list. Oh, you assigned the group icons to friends groups. I don't know if any of you have done this. I've done it a few, just to assign the people that I really like to talk to. That'll actually appear in the log while you're chatting now. Kind of a little bigger marker to pay attention to people. Or it might just annoy some people and you'll never use the functionality. To each his own. The Party Finder menu can now be opened by selecting recruitment notifications in the log window. I don't know about you, but they update about every 5 seconds, and I've turned them off, and they have been off ever since the Party Finder came out. Selecting an achievement window from the log. Selecting an achievement from the log window will now open up the achievements window. That's kind of cool. I've had a lot of people still ask me, where's the achievement window? I have it put on my bar personally, if you've seen my UI, so I'm an achievement whore. I like checking them. Following subcommand has been added to the character name in the log window. Target. I guess that displays their target. Unsure if it's their target or if it lets you do the bracket T. Do not know. Use the following command. Players will now follow their target as closely as possible. Just some functionality fixes the follow command. Some functionality to the mouse in PlayStation 4. Playing Windows version in Windows mode, the frame rate limit setting will now be based on your monitor's refresh rate, which I guess some people have been having a problem with. I have a 60 hertz, so 60 FPS. I run it in windowed mode. I don't have a problem. I guess some people have been. They wouldn't have made the change if people didn't. The following options have been added to the system configuration menu: all of the refresh rates, all of the mouse changes, all of the buttons, gamepads. Following categories have been added: the keybind interface under system, cancel macro, mouse sonar. Mouse sonar. Let's check out that. To improve accessibility, the following mouse features have been implemented in Windows and PlayStation 4 only. Oh, mouse sonar, which indicates its current position on screen. In case you lose your pointer at times. I know I do. But expanding the functionality to allow different cursor sizes and cursor tracking. So, like me, I'm probably going to go to the small cursor, and I'm probably going to lose it more, but hey, we got mouse sonar, so I won't screw up too much. That's why you're supposed to hit number buttons, by the way, people. You're not supposed to click. Clicking's bad. Don't do what I do, do what I say. Additional actions. This actually lets you set off-class ability or subclass abilities through macros. Don't see too many places where that would change. I do play warrior and I do switch around a few of my abilities, but a lot of classes are just set in stone and don't have a very big selection. I know like black mage has 6 abilities and 5 of them are useful. Same for paladin, same for white mage, same for white mage, scholar, all that. So I don't know. Some people get a use out of it. /m cancel will cancel macros, so now you don't have to write a macro that's short and does nothing in order to cancel your macros. You can just type /m cancel. You cannot put m cancel in a macro, but you can type /m cancel to cancel the macro. And /Hildy, as we said, gives you the gentleman pose, which you'll probably need to do the new Hildebrand quest to get. Which you should be doing anyway, let's face it, they're like the best side quests in the game. The /random text command has been added. Randomly generates a number in a log window. So, if you are new to MMOs or Final Fantasy MMOs in general, you'll know that with the random command being added, instantly tomorrow there will be /random casinos set up in major cities. You may want to go in on that special setting and disable those if you want to walk around in a city. System info command has been removed for Windows only. This is for bug reporting. I guess it automatically does it now. Well, no, I would assume. I mean, they always wanted the system info anyway, so why not just have it auto report? The following placeholder has been added. Nothing's in here. I think that is the oh, what was it? There was a command to show what cooldown on abilities, which is actually pretty useful. With a lot of people going, why didn't you use this? Why didn't you use that? Why didn't you use that? Because it's on cooldown. I hit the button. You can count time. New music has been added. Of course, they added new dungeons, so new music. Special European characters will now be recognized by the auto-translator in predictive text functions. For European people, you don't have to type your language in English. You can type your language in your language. The auto-translator's predictive text function will now display results, which include both current and previous words entered in chat. Entering no thanks in the chat window will display results. Thanks for the offer, but I'll have to pass. After entering no thanks in the chat window, we'll display the following results. Thanks for the offer, but I'll have to pass, and no thanks. Not really sure what's going on there. Then we got some PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Move navigations. I know some of you want to use your move stick and dance around in front of the screen. I know some of you do. It's okay though. Following issues have been addressed. Nothing. No bug fixes. The stuff we know is broke. All this stuff. The issue wherein certain ethereal wheel names are displayed overlapping with the UI. Okay, so there's a lot of broken things. Still, on this patch, they've worked for how long? I do not know. And I can't really blame them. Things break. But I think it's funny that you have a resolved issue section and no bug fixes, followed by a bunch of known issues and breaks in the patch you just put in. It's funny, it's quirky. And now we get to the fun part. New weapons. There was talk about the ST being able to craft new weapons by using stuff that drops. And here they are. Woots, scimitar, knuckles, booj, spear, longsword, daggers, cane, staff, grimoire, codex, all that good stuff. They're item 110 weapons, so they're not great. But, I mean, at the very least, they're good. They're new glamours. And at the very big increase is probably not too intensive to get item level 110 weapons now. The Lucis will be I-90 crafting and gathering tools, so that's cool. They probably look halfway decent. Then we have Demon Helm of Blah. The Demon gear is the item level 120 stuff from Tower. These Picaroon and item level 100s, these are dungeon drops. The Emperor's New Hat is a headwear glamour that takes all the models, so that's nice. Dark Divinity, Almir, Olga, all that. They're item level 50, but they are individual pieces of Odin gear, and the Olga looks like it would be a caster piece, I would say, for an Odin specific caster kind of set. Or maybe it's just the helmet without the ungodly ugly giant horns. I'd go for that. We have more glasses. Coral eye glasses, which I would assume would be cat eye glasses. What would cat chicks would wear and make no sense at all. But hey, you can do that. Emperor's New Robe. Essentially, it looks like they've added all the Emperor's new pieces, so you can be completely and utterly small-closed. And as a quick review, item level 120 from World of Darkness, and item level 100 from the new dungeons. As far as gear is concerned. We also have Artisan's Apron, which is a chest piece. Artisans means it's a crafter. So that is item level 60. I assume that is what we get seal pieces for. We'll have to see as recipes go down farther, or they might not be recipes. They might just be stuff we buy. Adept's Gown, that sounds like a glamour piece. Manderville Coatee. We can finally put on the Manderville suit, people. Emperor's New Gloves, individual pieces, Adept's Finger Stalls. Varley's Gauntlets. Oh, Varley's. These item level 70s, they seem odd. I'm not entirely sure what they are. But we will see. It might just be glamour pieces. It is the Adept set, apparently. Scrolling through. Item level 110 jewelry on the docket for Goldsmith. Platinum earrings, ranging, healing, casting, fending, all that. so goldsmiths get to join the 110 party finally. And platinum prices are going to go up. Tinker's Calm, a tonic commonly used by disciples of hand to increase focus, allowing enhanced results when deconstructing complex creations. Essentially a desynth potion. Should be nice. Give alchemists something to make. Better Crown Pie. No idea what the bonus is. Doesn't say. Same with Duck Broth, which I assume is duck broth and duck bones to probably make a soup of some kind. Then we have Circus Shard, Black Limestone, Giant Clam, Moonstones. These are all crafting ingredients. We've already seen their prices and everything. We're going to go up. Like catalysts. Going, okay, now we come to items for the house. Spotted and wavy interior walls. Star chandelier. Tommy flooring, monochrome flooring, Oasis cobble flooring. Dried well. You can have your own well. Oriental striking dummy. The Doman fashion striking dummy. Should look kind of interesting. We'll see. Wild banana tree, personal astroscope. Riviera garden table set, Dodo's nest. Yep, this is all stuff for the house. Retainer, cartoneer. Can only be placed outdoors. Oh, okay, these are counters and cartoneers to put out in front for your retainers. Grade 1 wheel of confrontation, productivity, industry, lodging, rivalry, company, initiation, capacity, observation, efficiency, and precision. For everyone taking note, it looks like man's breast print is longening, and trying to find meat and meat is nutrient, permanence is proper care, and reduced rates is pilgrimage. For everyone that cares. It looks like the items added to those chests, splintered chests, mummer's daggers, all that stuff. These are the things that are going to be in there. We have Talon Seal of Mining Mastery. Mastery, one would assume, means that we don't have any more to go for the weapons. Personally, I've stopped at Super on 2 classes and not gone with the other ones because essentially it's just too much money to keep up with. I don't get enough out of crafting in order to invest. Go more tables. It looks like we got a bunch of Oriental style stuff for the house. Finally. Minion, Puff of Darkness. That's probably going to look cool. Wind Up Gentleman, a Clockwork Hildebrand. Nice. Model Magitech Bit. Oh, the laser turrets. There's a laser turret minion. Okay. And the Ikendu minion. Yes, it's real. It's real. We should all be happy. We all need a green chicken. Kieran Fife will summon the Kieran. And a logistic system identification key is another new mount, so we'll have to see. Optional items have been added to the Mog Station. Paramour's Pendant, all of the old Valentine stuff has been added. Now we'll look at the new recipes. I'll just go through them real quick because there's not much really to say. There's probably going to be master tombs, and these do require fieldcraft demis. So, yep. We got the large wall chronometer. So, hey, finally have a grandfather clock. Guild leave counter, a Tatsu table, Oriental altar. This is all carpentry. And the 110 stuff. Blacksmith makes the model Magitech bit is a blacksmith item. Lapdog color bell. That's for armor. Don't know what that's for, but I assume it's going to be for something. Goldsmith gets all the platinums. And it should be noted that this is probably all going to be Master Book. I said that already, but just getting that in there for you. Artisan's Apron is going to be a crafted 3 sealant, 2 twin thread, a Vanya silk, platinum nugget, and a Mastercraft demi. So, Mastercraft market, you are still worth something. So the wheel stand is purchased for free, and then the wheel purchased for money. Well, at least Minium is useful again. I have to see what rank that is. If that's the master stuff, I really have to continue questioning what they're doing with alchemy. Because last time through was were the books that let you reset decent, and I still don't think a single one has ever sold on Balmung, and Balmung is the most populated server in the game. So that their direction may be a little off. Now, if these aren't master and say they're 3 stars, okay, I can agree with that. But if this is the new end-all be-all new alchemist thing, I just don't know where they're taking that crafting class at all. And then we get the culinary stuff. And that's the end of the patch notes, guys. I hope to see you in game, and I will be back for 2.51, which is of course the Golden Saucer. Hope to see you again next time.